How did you come up with this performance other than your teacher comments?
Like how did I
Come up with, well, no, that's what you do. I don't really understand your interpretation, so if you can explain how that evolved for you, I'd like to know.
To me, it seems more like a dance almost in a way. At least this part. It's kind of like almost hypnotic.
Well, it's a melody, right? And it goes through various keys, various transformations. So I'm not sure that it's like a tarantella, because he wrote a tarantella, right? So this is he says agitato. I'm not quite sure where the agitato comes from when you play it. I mean, agitato does not really mean dance.
Yeah.
Right? So where does that?
I guess it comes from the intensity of the emotion. That should
Well,
be.
here's agitato. So that agitato comes from. It's a little bit more clear there, right? Here, how can you make it agitated without getting, let's say, faster, faster, or something like that? So where is the figure that does? How do you do that?
I guess you can be very wary of your touch when you're playing it, so that way
Yeah.
you can control.
I mean, I'm sort of trying to get to the point with you of what do you think of when you practice, other than just going in and playing it? I mean, I think everybody knows that you like to play loud and fast here. And I don't think there's anything really wrong with that. You might get tired of it when you get to be 60 years old or something like that, like other people. But, I mean, it's a natural thing to do. I just like you to follow the directions of the composer a little bit more.
Okay.
So, I mean, I can just show you a few things, but what I would like you to do is be able to show yourself things without just repetition when you go into practice. So if you play the opening, let's play the opening bars. So I don't see a retard there. I don't know where you got it from, but it isn't in the music. So one thing would be to do is just do what Chopin wrote once and see how it goes. Because he says this it's pretty dramatic, right? So if you do it like this, it doesn't set you up for any kind of agitato. So you kind of miss your cue. So there's the agitato, right? But you have to kind of set the stage. So this is way, way, way over pedal to be able to hear the figure. So do you want to try it without a retard?
Sure.
You have to make a long crescendo, so you're already playing really loud in the second bar. Save something. You're bass heavy. Instead of playing it this way, you're playing. Hear that? So listen for that relationship. Anybody talk to you about, like, if you're going to the store and you're going to buy apples and then you're going to buy a cake? So I made 3 crescendos, right? But overall it was a big crescendo. Can you do that? If you do it this way, that shouldn't be the loudest note because the figure goes and then it goes, right? kind of go inside yourself and be able to make change. Because the unfortunate thing is once it goes in one way, then you're stuck with it for the rest of your life. So that's not good, right? Because there are lots of things. So you have to maybe go slower. You might even have to change the fingering. Don't hold the beat. Right, so the way you play without any instruction, it seems like. So that doesn't have any particular quality. This is legato. Why is this so? There's no reason why you can't play this the same tempo as you play everything else, right?
Right, I'm just trying to implement a new finger.
So I need a lot less left hand to carry the melody, right? Because I couldn't hear it. So can you do it? Continue. No pedal there. No pedal there. You know what makes this is also, I think you're coming back full circle to what Papa Baldi said. That's also a pedal. It's hand pedal. I think it should be clearer. Yeah, that's much better. It occurs to me to tell you something else. It would be good if, when you practice and you're all alone, if you get your head up and not listen to everything. Because when your head is lower than this part of the piano, you actually don't hear what's coming out so well. So you can, if you stay here, straighten your back and play it. Sit up straight. And now play it down here where you usually play. It sounds different. The piano sounds different. Because in a way it sounds clearer down there for you because you're not hearing what's coming out. But I want you to hear what's coming out. Because, you know, that's what everybody else is hearing, right?
Right.
Right, so that's important. So if we go to here, so this is the first time it comes in octaves. I don't think it needs to be so loud. It's a long movement, right? So can you play that and not cover it? So I see this. I don't think you need to play it this way. You're playing it completely staccato. Of course, you can't play it completely legato, but you can give the impression of legato, right? So. So that's not as good, right?
Right.
Can you try it? Yeah, so the part of it is this. Has to be much less. So can you do that? Many ways of inflecting that harmony, but I need to hear your way, not just it doesn't matter way.
Mhm.
Can you do that? It's a little bit better. So there are notes there that are hidden that are more important than others. I think it's not a good choice to play. Because that's like no opinion choice. And every time I've heard you play, I keep thinking, oh God, you're such a marvelous pianist, but I don't hear your choices. And what troubles me about that is I don't know, I'm sure there are at least 3,000 people in the world that play mechanically as well as you do if you take the whole world of China, Korea, and right? And so how are you going to stand out? It's not going to be, even if you can play louder and faster than they all can today or next month, there's going to be somebody coming up that can do it, just like in the Olympics. So you have to develop a point of view. It has to be based on Nick's point of view. It can't be anybody else's, because this is your life.
Right.
Right? So, I know that you can listen better than you do. So we'll do this one. Take some kind of a choice. You don't have to come up with there is no right way to play this piece, or any piece. There are many, many, there are many ways to drive to California. You can go a way that'll take 3 days, and you can go a way that'll take 5 years. The country is big enough for that. So you have to just pick any way, but pick some plan. Make a plan and change it some other day. That's much better. Go ahead. what Chopin wrote. So, you know, that is, I mean, I appreciate the fact that you're so devoted to the piano and that you love music, and we all love music, and, you know, it could be even that you love music the most. I don't know who loves music the most. I mean, there's no way to measure, but we all love music. But, you know, I really, really want to impress on you that you need to maybe slow down, and in between when you try something, instead of just trying to say, okay, what am I listening for? Because, you know, you're old enough. How old are you?
I'm 20.
Yeah, so you're old enough to be able to guide your own practicing and make your own interpretation. You're old enough to have a world career. But between now and there, I don't think that any teacher can sit with you enough hours to do this part. I mean, you know, we've talked all about this. There's that part in you that has to say, okay, I'm responsible. And I would think that it would be really, really helpful for you if you would record yourself. You know, getting a good recorder, or even doing it with, you know, a good iPhone, a newer iPhone where there's a decent mic, or buy a mic and take a look at yourself, listen. You will be surprised at what you hear, and you'll say, oh my goodness, I didn't phrase out, or there's these dynamics, or it's over-pedaled, or blah, 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 blah. You know, I mean, it's going to be a real awakening. But I want to say to you, wake up. I mean, because you have so much to offer if you could only you can wake yourself up. So the whole idea of having, I mean, while you were playing, I was wondering what Chopin would think if he walked into the room while you were playing. And I don't know if you know anything about Chopin, do you? Have you read about Chopin?
Not specifically, no.
The man, you don't know anything about him?
Well, I do know things about him, but it wasn't from books. Right?
But what do you know about him? If I asked you to say what kind of a person was he, or
very detail-oriented person who loved lyrical melodies and also
opera?
emphasized legato textures.
What else? There's some other big ones that I'm sure you've heard.
He was a friend of Liszt.
He hated loud and fast playing.
I see.
But that doesn't mean he could walk in here, you know, so many years later and say, wow, this is great. I'm not, you know, who knows, right? It was just like, we don't know. But he was very introverted. He never, ever played loud, and he hated to play in public. So, you know, I'm not saying that you shouldn't play forte or double forte, but, you know, he was into nuance and shape.
Right.
And so to give him his due, as loud and fast as you want to play, you have to have the shape and the colors. He was a colorist. And you know, maybe you don't know this, but he used to sit down at the piano and improvise, and he would go into a trance. And it was not a trance of just nothing. It was just a beauty trip. So in that's the kind of awareness that you have to wake up to, subtlety. So it's really what I hear, that when you do something, you've repeated it in the practice room so many times that it's real hard for you to get a fresh handle on it. So you have to stop, and that's where you have to give yourself kind of a self-direction. And before you do it, say, why am I repeating this? And I realize that's going to slow you down, but not for long, because your ears are going to perk up, and you're going to hear more, and you will be able to get a lot more individual expression out, which is the goal. That's why we're all here, right? Anyway, good luck. I enjoyed hearing you, and thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.